What's up, guys? Owen here, back with another Hand Productions video. Today, we're going to be redrafting the 2018 NFL Draft. So, aka the draft for players like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Baker Mayfield, we're all drafted in. So, all I can say is, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get started. Alright, we got the draft pulled up now, and let's get started. As you can see, look at this board of players. Josh Rosen at number 4. Um, Obviously the Cleveland Browns and did end up taking Baker Mayfield in the spot, but obviously they should have taken Josh Allen. In my opinion, he had the best success of any quarterback. You could say Lamar with his 2 MVPs, but honestly, playoff success matters, and Lamar really hasn't had that much playoff success, so you gotta go Josh Allen in this spot. And yeah, so next up we got the Giants, and they also needed they ended up taking Saquon, but it didn't end up working out well. And at this point in time, if they would have taken a quarterback, I think they would have been better for the future. But I would still probably have them taking Saquon because still think at the time they didn't really need a quarterback that much. They still had Eli. I think this was the second to last year. Eli, I mean Eli Manning. So I still think you got to take Saquon Barkley in this spot. Next up, you have the Jets, and they ended up taking Sam Darnold. And obviously, you got to go with Lamar Jackson in this spot. It's gonna give me B plus, but we all know in reality, best choice. Next up, got the Cleveland Browns. They needed a running back too. They also needed some wide receivers. So let's look at the running backs. Naheem Hines, Rashad Penny, Nick Chubb. Actually, we ended up actually going on the Browns. So we're gonna take him early. See, he's one of the best players out of this draft. So look, Browns now have you know Josh Allen and Nick Chubb. Holy cow, that's such a good backfield. Next up, you get Denver Broncos. I'm pretty sure they did take Bradley Chubb. Not ended up, they did take Bradley Chubb. And they need a quarterback. So we're just going to go to the quarterbacks and look at them. Mason Rudolph, Kurt Benkert, Mike White. Holy cow, yeah. Um, Again, I would not take Sam Darnold in this spot. But of all the players drafted, I think that you might have to go with Baker here. He's had playoff success. He just got paid a contract with the Bucks. You could. I mean, I think you got to take Baker in this spot. I mean, at the time, until really this last year, he was a bust. Let's be honest, he was a bust. But looking at it now, he might have just been with the wrong organization. But now we got the Colts. We got to take Roquan here. He is, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Might be a tad bit overrated in my opinion, but still one of the best in the NFL. Yeah, so I think that's a good pick. Next up, you get the Bucks, and they need a safety, so I'd take Derwin James here. He ended up going to the Chargers, but honestly, Derwin James in the Bucks would be scary. Now we got the Chicago Bears, and I don't know who they picked at the time, but probably was an amazing pick. These players on the board, like Tremaine Edmonds, who the Bills ended up taking, Vita Vea, all these players. I think no, Bears ended up taking Roquan Smith. What am I saying? I'm confused right now. Yeah. But at this point in time, if they needed a linebacker, then he might take Tremaine Edmonds, who ended up on the Bears right now. So it would have worked out perfectly. Next up, you got the 49ers. And I would have them take, linebacker or safety. And I think out of all of these players, on the board right now, I think you got to take Minka. I think he's really good. And I think, he'll be perfect on that San Francisco defense. As of today, and probably back then too. I'm going to say as of today. Next up, get the Raiders. And they needed D lineman. And they also needed, a linebacker. But out of all these players, again, I think I got to go with Vita Vea here. I think he's the best D lineman. I think he's better than Bradley Chubb. But now we have the Miami Dolphins. We need a quarterback. I'm laughing because you need a quarterback. See Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. In fact, you can move Josh Rosen to the complete bottom and move Sam Darnold also to the complete bottom, even though he just got paid $10 million somehow. But yeah. So out of all these players on the board, they need a cornerback, so we're actually gonna go with Denzel Ward. I was gonna take Bradley Chubb, but not great. So we got the Bills, who ended up, I think, trading up to the 7th pick in this draft, and getting Josh Allen. But at 12th, this would have been really bad for the Bills if they didn't end up getting Josh Allen. So I'm not taking any of these players here, but they do need inside linebacker, inside O lineman. Scrolling on a tad bit, you can see Quentin Johnson right here. So I think you got to take him. Again, not the ideal choice. Obviously, would have wanted, Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but they couldn't get him, so it's no mistakes. But now we got the Washington Commanders. They need D lineman, Bradley Chubb. Is he the 12th best player in this, or 19th best player? No, 13th. I cannot see right now. 13th player. Most likely not. But was he still really good? I think he was still really good, honestly, even though he's injury problems and not amazing. I think especially with they traded him for the Dolphins. I'm saying. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers. They needed an edge. They needed a cornerback. I wouldn't say Josh. Let's look at the cornerbacks here. Jair Alexander's right there. He is on the Packers. I think that's perfect, actually, right there. Next up, we get the Cardinals. 15. They need a quarterback. We're not taking any quarterback for them, actually. Running backs, not amazing. They didn't really need one, but still, not amazing. They need an O tackle. Mike McGlinchey's pretty good, I would say. Orlando Brown. Wait, that might actually be a good one. Orlando Brown would be the steal, actually. Harold Landry, Sam Hubbard. Ugh. Safety, they kind of need a safety. Ronnie Harrison, Jesse Bates is still there. Um, long snap. Why am I going on long snapper? No one needs a long snapper. Wide receiver. Let's take a wide receiver. Calvin Ridley. I think that's a good pick right there for the Cardinals. Next up, you got the Ravens. And, in this draft, they ended up picking Lamar with pick 32, which is crazy. I think pick 32. I think it was pick 32. And which is crazy because obviously he is, a top 10, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But I would not see him picking quarterback in this spot. Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. So you would have to go to other positions that they need, which is wide receiver. Not amazing wide receiver class. There's still some good guys on here, but not amazing. But of all the guys on here, I think Portland Sutton honestly is really good. So is DJ Moore, but I would have to take DJ Moore over Cortland Sutton, even though I think both of them are on the same tier right now. I think they're both top 15. Cortland Sutton's really underrated. But so let's get back to the draft actually, because I'm kind of going off track a little bit. So the Chargers pick round one, pick 17. Obviously, got to go with their best fit, which would be an offensive tackle or D lineman or linebacker. And I just want to look at these linebackers because again, there's always like a steal out of linebacker. Fred Warner, perfect. What's just Fred Warner? And again, it's gonna give me a bad grade, but in hindsight, see a linebacker, you got Fred Warner on there. Yeah. Next up, we got the Seattle Seahawks, and they need a cornerback. They need a tackle. Cornerbacks, not crazy good. They had Dante Jackson who just got traded the other day. I think actually yesterday, not the other day. And they got offensive tackle. Still got Mike McGlinchey. And I think he's good, honestly. I don't think Mike McGlinchey's bad. So we're going to take him. Next up, you got the Cowboys. And they need wide receivers. So let's look at them. DJ Chark, Cortland Sutton's still there. Let's look at D lineman again. Not amazing. Let's see. They need cornerbacks. Again, let's look at the tight ends. Dallas Goddard. Wow, this 10 class is stacked. Look at that. Bolton Schultz, Mark Andrews, Hayden Hurst. Who's the best out of these? I think Mark Andrews might be the best out of these. Well, let me scroll down. Yeah, I think Mark Andrews the best. They need a tight end, so I think I gotta go with Mark Andrews here. Give me a C. If only these people knew, right? Next up, Lions. And we gotta look at this, because they need D linemen. Let's just scroll down. Derek Nottie, Tim Settle, Josh Sweat. Not great. I think Marcus Davenport is pretty good. Let's think inside O lineman. Who else is on here? Frank Ragnow. He actually ended up going on the line, so that'd be perfect. I'm gonna take him. Next up, you got the Bengals, and they need an inside offensive lineman. Isaiah Wynn's right there. Will Hernandez. Let's see. They need an offensive tackle. Um, let's see. I want to see like who's still on the board because I feel like there's gonna be a player that's really good that's still on this board right now. Jesse Bates is right there. I think he actually did end up getting taken by the. Yeah, he was on the Bengals actually. So that's crazy. Um, yeah, I don't. There's not really that many players. I think fits perfectly. If I'd go with someone, probably would go like Rashawn Evans because he's a decent linebacker. You know what I mean? Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills, and they needed a quarterback. Is there anyone? Is there even like a quarterback on this board? It's bad. And then you got wide receiver, not great. Cortland Sutton is right there though. I would actually like to have him on the current day Bills too. That would actually been really well. Well, not getting Josh Allen would have been bad, but you know what I mean. D lineman, that's all right. I guess we can take Marcus Davenport. Again, it's like the best player on the board. I would say. I got the Patriots. Why is quarterback on here? They had Brady at the time, I think. Still, a lot of players that could be on the Patriots right now. But I guess the best on the board, we gotta go luck because again, none of these players really turned out that well. I would say Josh Sweat arguably was the best on this board right now, so I'll give it to Josh Sweat. Next up, Carolina Panthers. They need a wide receiver. The best on the board right now is Portland Sutton. I think he's honestly one of the best players, right now in the NFL. Not right now in the NFL, but one of the best wide receivers. His, ability to, catch the ball is insane. As a wide receiver, that sounds bad saying, it's a wide receiver supposed to do that, but honestly, he's really good. So yeah, he's got to go with number 24. Next up, we have the Titans. They need a D lineman, they need an edge rusher. They do not need a quarterback. Honestly, we'll take Harold Landry. Why not? I don't think there's any really that many good edge players on the board anymore. Really, yeah, there's not many good edge players on the board really. Next up, we got the Falcons. They need a D lineman. They need a wide receiver. They're trying to make me take all these players. Like, oh, this is such a steal. No, it's not. Jordan's out of the league, and he was like Sam Darnold. I mean, he got signed, but he was almost out of the league. So you got the Falcons here. They don't really need much. They got a D lineman. It's not a stacked class. We get the Ron Payne there, so you might as well take him. Next up, you got the Saints. They need a tight end, and this is a really stacked tight end class. So we'll give him Dallas Goedert. I think he's the second best out of all of these. And now we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They need a linebacker, so let's look at him. Leighton Vander Esch. I think he's pretty good. Jerome Baker is pretty good too. Um, yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty decent linebacker class. Darius Leonard's up there. Ooh, Darius Leonard's prime's really good. So yeah, we're gonna take Darius Leonard there. And in the past few years, not amazing, but prime Darius Leonard. I think his name's Shaq Leonard now. I think it's Shaq Leonard now, but we're gonna say Shaq Leonard. Shaq Leonard, good. Next up, Jaguars. They need a quarterback. They need a wide receiver. None of them that crazy good. But we could take Christian Kirk in this spot. We got to look around here. The running backs. Rashad Penny, Naheem Hines, not amazing. Sony Michel, Ronald Jones. Wow. They need a linebacker, kind of. We'll give him Van Der Esch. I mean, he's decent. He's pretty good, right? Let's see who's next. The Minnesota Vikings. Wow. Pick third. Need an inside offensive lineman. Let's say Winworks. I don't know if he's the greatest player in the world or greatest offensive lineman, but again, I think it's still decent. Next up, get the Patriots. They need an offensive tackle. I think you could take Orlando Brown in the spot, honestly. I think I'd go Orlando Brown. He's one of the better offensive tackles in the league, I would say. Now we got the Philadelphia Eagles. They won Super Bowl this year. Or the year before this. So yeah, let's look at it. Lost my mouse for a second. They need a running back. Not great. So let's just look at the other needs. They need an inside lineman. Not amazing. Offensive tackle. Not crazy good. An edge rusher. Sam Hubbard's actually decent. A D lineman. Harrison Phillips, not great. Quarterback's not amazing either, honestly. But we could give him Dalton Schultz here because they kind of needed a tight end in this position. And honestly, Dalton Schultz is really good, so we're gonna give him Dalton Schultz. It's gonna give me a bad grade, but again, so yeah. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this draft video. Redrafting. So let's just take a look. So Cleveland Browns obviously the first pick, and they took Josh Allen, and then with the fourth pick, they took Nick Chubb. And look at that, B plus and a C plus. But in reality, if they would have taken these guys, it would have been a successful draft for them, in the long run. But again, you never know. You never know if these guys would have been drafted in a different position, well, they would have thrived, like Lamar Jackson has, or Josh Allen, and maybe like Sam Darnold, or even like we've seen in Baker Mayfield. Maybe they just have to go with a different scheme because we're going to see Sam Darnold maybe play a few games with the Vikings. And the Kevin O'Connell's a good quarterback coach. So again, we'll have to see with these guys. But again, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like subscribe button. Hopefully you like my, draft, and I'll see you in the next video.